Chapter 33 The Societies. With name of the God, the Almighty, the Merciful. O you, the Prophet, fear the God, and don't you obey the rejectors and the hypocrites. Surely the God is knowledgeable, wise. And follow what it inspired to you from your Lord. Surely the God is, with what you do, aware. And trust over the God, and enough with the God disposing. Naught makes the God to a man from two hearts in his body, and naught makes your spouses, which you make apparent from them, your mothers, and naught makes your adopted children, your children, that to you you're saying with your mouths, and the God, He says the truth, and He guides the path. Call them to their fathers, it just with the God, but if not you know their fathers, but your brothers in the way, and your protectors, and not over you issue in what you fault with it, and but don't you force your hearts, and is the God forgiving, merciful. The Prophet first with the believers from their souls, and his spouses, their mothers, and those with the wombs, some of them first with others, in book of the God, from the believers and the immigrants, except that you do to your protectors goodness, is that in the book written. And behold, we took from the prophets their promise, and from you, and from Noah, and Abraham, and Moses, and Jesus son of Mary, and we took from them promise strict. To his questioning the truthful over their truth, and prepares to the rejectors punishment grievous. O you, those who believe, remember favor of the God over you. Behold, came to you forces, but we sent over them wind and forces, not you saw them. And is the God with what you do, watching? Behold, came to you from above you, and from lower from you, and behold, blurred the sights, and reached the hearts the throats, and you thought with the God the thoughts. Right there tested the believers, and they shook, shaking severe. And behold, they said, the hypocrites and those in their hearts disease, not promised us the God and His messenger except deception. And behold, said a party from them, O keepers of Yathrib, no station to you, but return. And they excused a group from them, the Prophet. They said, surely our homes bare, and not here with bareness, if they wanted, except running. And if entered over them from her sides, then they asked the trial, to be coming to her, and not they tarrying with her, except easily. And already they promised the God from before, not would they turn the backs, and is promise of the God to be questioned. Say, not will it benefit you the running, if you run from the death or the killing, and then not will you enjoy except a little. Say, who with that he will stop you from the God, if intends with you evil, or intends with you mercy? And not will they find to themselves from other than the God, inheritor and not helper. Already he knows, the God, the laggards from you and the unmindful to their brothers come to us, and not they come to the war except a little. Is desire over you, but when comes the fear, you see them, they looking to you, turning their eyes like one, it covering over him from the death. But when goes the fear, they slither to you with the tongues strongly desiring over the good. Those not they believe, so shuts the God their deeds. And is that over the God easy? They think the societies, not they have gone. And if they come, the societies, they want if surely they far in the Arabs, they asking over your news. And if they were in you, not would they fight, except a little. Already is to you in messengers of the God example good, to one who is, he expecting the God, and the day, the later, and remembers the God much. And when see the believers, the societies, they say, this what promised us the God and his messengers, and true the God and his messengers, and not adds them except faith and acceptance. From the believers, men, they confirmed what they promised the God over him, but from them one who completed his promise, and from them one he waits, and not they changing. To his repaying, the God, the truthful with their truth, and his punishing the hypocrites, if wishes, or he turns over them. Surely the God is forgiving, merciful. And turns back the God, those who reject with their fury, not their portion good. And enough the God the believers, the fight. And is the God forceful, mighty, and sends down those who back them from keepers of the book, from their politics, and sends in their hearts the terror. A group you kill, and you take refugee, a group. And you inherit their earth, and their homes, and their wealth, and earth, not you tread her, and is the God over everything powerful. O you, the prophet, say to your spouses, if you be, you wanting the life of the world and her beauty, but come, I will make you enjoy, and I will make you flow, a flowing beautiful. And if you be, you wanting the God and his messengers, and the home of the hereafter, but surely the God prepares to the beneficent from you a reward great. O women of the Prophet, those, they come from you with lewdness clear, he will add to her the punishment doubled, and is that over the God easy? And those, they devout from you to God and his messengers, and she does righteousness, we will bring her reward twofold, and we prepare to her sustenance honored. O women of the Prophet, not you like any one from the women. If you fearing, but don't you be lowly with the sayings, but he will desire, the one, in his heart disease, and say sayings good. And stay in your homes, and don't you display of the ignorance, the first, and make constant the prayer, and bring the purity, and obey the God and his messengers. Surely what he wants, the God, to his taking away over you the abomination, keepers of the house, and his purifying you pure. And remember what it read in your homes from signs of the God and the wisdom. Surely the God is mysterious, aware. Surely the Muslim men and the Muslim women and the believing men and the believing women and the devout men and the devout women and the truthful men and the truthful women and the patient men and the patient women and the humble men and the humble women and the givers of truth men and the givers of truth women and the fasting men and the fasting women and the men guarding their chastity and the women guarding and the men remembering the God much and the women remembering, prepares the God to them forgiveness and reward great. And not is to a believing man and not a believing woman, when decides the God and his messengers a command, that it be to them the choice from their command. And one, he disobeys the God and his messengers, but has strayed a straying clear. And behold, you said to the one, favored the God over him, and you favored over him. Hold over you your spouse, and fear the God, and you hid in your soul what the God opened it, and you feared the mankind, and the God, in truth that you fear him. So when finished Zad from her properly, we paired you her, to like not it be over the believers problem in spouses of their adopted sons, when they finish from them properly, and is command of the God to be fulfilled. Not is over the prophet from problem in what accepts the God to him, method of the God in those who passed from before, and is command of the God a measure to be measured. Those, they deliver messages of the God, and they fear him, and not they fear anyone except the God, and enough with the God account. Not is Muhammad father of any one from your men, and but messenger of the God, and sure seal of the prophets, and is the God with everything knowledgeable. O you, those who believe, remember the God, remembrance much, and glorify him mornings and evenings. He the one, he prays over you and his angels, to his taking you out from the darknesses to the light, and is with the believers merciful. Their salutation, a day they meet him, peace, and prepares to them reward honored. O you, the Prophet, surely we sent you witness, and informer, and warner, and caller to the God with his will, and lamp lighting, and inform the believers with surety to them from the God, grace great. And don't you obey the rejectors and the hypocrites, and push away their hurt, and trust over the God, and enough with the God disposing. O you, those who believe, when you marry the believing women, Then you divorce them from before that you touch them, but not to you over them from term you count her, but make them enjoy, and make them flow, a flowing beautiful. O you, the Prophet, surely we allow to you your spouses, those you brought their rewards, and what control your covenants, from what turns the God over you, and daughters of your paternal uncles, and daughters of your paternal aunts, and daughters of your maternal uncles, and daughters of your maternal aunts, those who immigrated with you, and a woman believing, if she brings her soul to the Prophet, if intends the Prophet that he marry her, exclusively to you from other than the believers, have we taught what we accept over them in their spouses, and what control their covenants, to not it being over you problem, and is the God forgiving, merciful. Turn away one you wish from them, and secure to yourself one you wish, and one you seek from those you turn away, but no issue over you, that closer, that cools their eyes, and not they grieve, and they happy with what you bring them, all of them. And the God, He knows what in your hearts, and is the God knowledgeable, forbearing. Not they allowed to you, the women, from after, and not that you change with them from spouses, and if makes you wonder their beauty, except what control your covenants, and is the God over everything watching. O you, those who believe, don't you enter homes of the Prophet, except that he calls to you to food, other than looking the while, and but when you called, but enter, but when you have fed, but spread, and don't be seeking to story, surely that to you is it hurting the Prophet, but he shy from you, and the God, not he shy from the truth. And when you ask them sustenance, but ask them from behind a barrier, that to you, purer to your hearts and their hearts, and not is to you that you hurt messenger of the God, and not that you marry his spouses from after him ever. Surely that to you is with the God great. If you announce a thing, or you hide it, but surely the God is with everything knowledgeable. No issue over them in their fathers, and not their sons, and not their brothers, and not sons of their brothers, and not sons of their sisters, and not their women, and not what control their covenants, and fear the God. Surely the God is over everything witness. Surely the God and his angels, they pray over the Prophet. O you, those who believe, pray over him and make peace accepting. Surely those, they hurt the God and his messengers, curses them the God in the world and the hereafter, and prepares to them punishment lowly. And those, they hurt the believing men and the believing women with other than what they earn, but have they carried enormity and evil clear. O you, the Prophet, say to your spouses and your daughters and women of the believers, they make way over themselves from coverings, that closer that they known, but not they hurt, and is the God forgiving, merciful. If not they stop, the hypocrites, and those in their hearts disease, and the hitting in the city, to our surely changing you with them, then not will they argue you in her except a little. They will be cursed, where what they captured they will be grabbed, and they killed, killing. Method of the God in those who passed from before, and not will you find to method of the God change. They ask you, the mankind, over the hour. Say, surely what her knowledge with the God, and what it will make you understand, maybe the hour she be close. Surely the God curses the rejectors and prepares to them fire, living perpetually in her forever. Not will they find inheritor and not helper. A day turn their faces in the fire, they will say, "Oh, woe to us, had we obeyed the God and obeyed the messengers." And they will say, "Our Lord, surely we obeyed our leaders and our great ones, but we strayed the path. Our Lord, bring them doubly from the punishment, and curse them cursing great." O you, those who believe, don't you be like those who hurt Moses, but frees him the God from what they say, and is with the God honorable. O you, those who believe, fear the God, and say saying straight. He will write to you your deeds, and he will forgive to you your crimes. And one, he obeys the God and his messengers, but has achieved an achievement great. Surely we turned the safekeeping over the heavens and the earths and the mountains, but refused that they carry her, and feared from her, and carried her the man. Surely he is a wrongdoing ignorant. To his punishing, the God, the hypocrite men, and the hypocrite women, and the partnering men, and the partnering women, and he turns, the God, over the believing men, and the believing women, and is the God forgiving, merciful.